Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are covering none other than one of my favorite series, One Piece, and we are covering the Long Ring, Long Land arc as well as the Water 7 arc. The Water 7 saga is quite large, consists of 4 arcs, so I decided to break it down. Enos Lobby and the post-Enos Lobby gets pretty crazy, so I'm wanting to do a video on those 2 arcs by themselves, just its own self-contained video. So I'll cover the first half of the saga in this video. So yeah, anyways, let's get right into it. So starting with the Long Land, Long Ring, whatever, that arc, it's terrible. Honestly, it is probably the worst arc in One Piece so far. Actually, I don't know that that's true. I think Syrup Village was probably the worst arc in the entire series. But this is probably a close second. Basically, this arc served no purpose whatsoever. It really did just feel like a filler arc that just so happens to be canon. Really, the only thing that it did was at the beginning, it showed more of Doflamingo, who's like this looming threat that we don't know much about yet. He's one of the warlords, and he just looks insane. I know a little bit about Doflamingo, just because, like, you know, spoilers and stuff on the internet. He's got, like, the string fruit, all that. We'll see more of him in Dressrosa, which is like volume 70-ish, around there. We see a little bit more of him, some foreshadowing, and just, yeah, leaving that be. But also, we get some pretty big foreshadowing for what's to come into Enos Lobby. Now, I've already read through Enos Lobby. I'm not exactly finished yet. I'm about to be getting into post-Enos Lobby, so yeah, I mean, I've been reading, you know. I've been getting through the Water 7 saga, and yeah, I can confirm that, you know, this arc does have a minor role in setting up some of that stuff, just with the introduction of Aokiji, who is one of the admirals, who plays a pretty important role. He shows up for the first time in this arc, and foreshadows stuff about Robin's past, which plays a role. I mean, she's like the central figure in Enos Lobby, and even in the Water 7 arc. This whole saga pretty much revolves around Robin, so it just foreshadows what's to come. I'd say what really makes this arc terrible is the Foxy Pirates. They are some of the most annoying characters in One Piece. And just the fact that everything that they're doing in this arc is just pointless and means really nothing to the overall plot. Like, it's just basically filler. It's just made even more annoying by the fact that we're having to read through this pointless stuff that's supplemented with just annoying characters. And really, I mean, the best part about this arc was the fight between Luffy and Foxy, because I was ready for just this annoying dude to get murked already. Just like, shut up, you annoying bastard, just shut up, you know?
Why won't you die?
Like, I was ready for Luffy to just beat the crap out of him. But even then, Luffy was getting his, like, crap handed to him, like, the entire time of the fight. Like, you didn't just fight a literal god, a lightning god, and before that, fight a mafia boss. Now you're having to fight this little twerp, and you're getting your crap handed to you. Like, what? Like, this dude should get O-code, like, immediately. Why are you having issues? You fought a lightning god in the arc prior and beat him. Like, what? I don't understand. But I thought that was kind of stupid, but honestly, I mean, it ended with him winning, so it's whatever. Yeah, I mean, also, probably the main highlight of this arc, like, the best thing about this is the afro. Just gonna say, guys, Luffy's soul brother energy, as Sanji puts it, is fire. You know, the afro, honestly, that was probably the funniest joke. I actually, like, legitimately thought it was funny how it's basically common knowledge that having an afro makes you more powerful, and like people are like, how does that make you more powerful? And just it'll like randomly come up like, did you know having an afro makes you more powerful? And Nami will be like, huh? Like, I thought it was quite funny, and it's probably the best part about this arc, which, I mean, is pretty sad to say, because that just goes to show how overall, like, trash this arc is. I'm gonna have to give it like a 3 out of 10. Moving right along to Water 7, it's a major improvement upon the previous arc. Honestly, the previous like few arcs. In the first few chapters of Water 7, I was already getting more enjoyment out of it than the best that Skypiea had to offer. And like that was just the beginning of Water 7. Not to say that Skypiea is the worst arc. It's not. People give it a lot of hate. It was interesting towards the end, but Water 7 was just such a massive improvement upon that. Like I said, just in the first few chapters, I enjoyed it more than the best Skypiea had to offer at its climax. So what made Water 7 so cool? First of all, I think that Water 7, like as a location, is just really cool. This whole like city that runs on water, I think is cool. It reminds me a lot of like BioShock, if you guys ever heard of that game or played it. It's not really an underwater city, Water 7 is. It's not. But just like the whole like idea of a water city, that just kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, it's just really cool, but then there's a little bit of backstory about it, how like the water level keeps rising, and the reason is because the city is sinking, and like soon there will be no more Water 7. That whole thing, this idea of like impending doom on this beautiful city, is just really interesting to me. Also, of course, we explore more of Robin as a character, her whole disappearance, and we start to understand why she is, you know, being framed for the assassination of Iceberg, who is like the mayor. All of that stuff with CP9 and all that comes together in this, and it's really interesting. Yeah, the whole mystery that unfolds throughout this arc is awesome, and especially at the end, or towards the end, when we find out that Frankie, of course, is what's his name? I forget his real name, but Tom, the guy that built Roger's ship, and also had to do with like the sea train and all that. He was his apprentice and his best friends with Iceberg and all that. Just how everything comes together in this arc, how all of these mysteries are revealed. It's awesome. Probably my favorite part of One Piece so far. I will say that Enies Lobby has been pretty good so far, and by the end it might end up being my favorite arc so far. I know that when we get into like Marineford and stuff like that, that'll probably change. Yeah, Water 7 is up there with like Arlong Park for me. It's like favorites. Yeah, just all of the plot points explored throughout this arc, just fantastic. CP9 goes crazy when that reveal happened. I kind of already knew who like the main villain was, because I mean, he's like on the volumes, you know, like. Also, One Piece spoilers. Sadly, I've been spoiled for so much in this series. But yeah, it wasn't too much of a surprise to me at all. But the way that it went about doing it still like was interesting and engaging, regardless of whether I knew like the big reveal or not. And I cannot talk about Water 7 without, of course, talking about the big feud between Luffy and Usopp. Now, Usopp is already like one of my least favorite characters in the entire series. His introduction arc, Syrup Village, was utter trash. It was terrible. It was so difficult to sit through, and when I first got into One Piece, watching the anime, of course, I almost dropped it during that arc because it was terrible. I was like, this One Piece has been slow so far, but like this is bad, and I don't know if I want to sit through 1,000 episodes of this, which I mean I ultimately did drop the series, just not at that point. I sat through it and endured it. It's really bad. Usopp, just from the get-go in his introduction, is already annoying. He's always lying and thinks that he's the captain of Luffy's crew, and tells everybody that he's the captain and the great Usopp, even though he's weak and offers almost nothing to the squad other than doing some minor repairs to the Going Merry when it's needed. He's just so annoying. And the arc he was introduced in, trash. So, going into this whole feud, he obviously didn't already have a good start. You know, he's been annoying the entire journey since the East Blue and has been a bad character the entire time. Sometimes offering some comedic relief, but other than that, just a bad character. Now, I understand kind of where Usopp is coming from with the Going Merry, of course. That was kind of like, that Going Merry was introduced during his arc and was given to the crew by Usopp's homies, by his girl. You know, I understand why they wouldn't, but ultimately, Luffy is the captain, and the captain decides what's going to happen. And if Usopp doesn't like it, then he can leave. Like, Luffy shouldn't have to fight him and fight for, like, his position as captain, you know, when Usopp, first of all, like, I don't know, it's just so stupid. And the whole argument, the boat is falling apart, you know, we've had so many, it just fell out of the freaking sky, and it's a wonder that boat has survived this long. Luffy just wants to buy a new boat and get a massive upgrade with all the money that they just got from Skypiea. And Usopp's like, nah, like what? And then of course, this whole feud ends with Usopp leaving the squad and trying to repair the Going Merry, which ultimately doesn't work and it gets destroyed anyway. What a stupid, stupid character. Usopp is the biggest L in all of One Piece. Overall, I'm going to have to give Water 7 arc a 7 out of 10. Who would have thought, right? I don't want to give it too high of a score just yet, because of course, not finished with Enies Lobby yet, and I already know, based on how everybody talks about it, the stuff coming soon is going to be like 10 out of 10. So I don't want to rate this too high, but it was still really good. So I'm just going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Water 7, you know, that's what the 7 stands for, 7 out of 10. Anyways, guys, that is going to about do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Just a little bit of a quicker review of everything that I thought was necessary to talk about these two arcs of One Piece. And yeah, of course, there's more coming soon, as I am continuously reading One Piece and trucking through it. You guys will definitely be getting more One Piece content in the next weeks. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And if you haven't already, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.